there's a disproportion in the industry.
So why
itself.
not try and make it more
So are you saying
proportionate?
that there are less talented female artists?
I'm saying that there are less female artists generally. Like I'm saying that there are more male artists in the industry than there are.
Because you guys,
So that means that-
aren't signing them.
So that means that you are going to have like more shitty male artists as well.
It wasn't so
Thank you
scary,
much.
was it?
It wasn't. It wasn't.
Good,
Like,
nice,
I-
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
I feel
Like
like it's nice.
I'm a fan of you guys as well. Like I was just very, very happy to be here to have conversations with you.
Some artists are bigger on Instagram than in real life.
Welcome to another episode of OffAir. My name is Gbemi.
Hi, I'm Toolz.
What was that?
I'm being demure.
Sure.
After all, I am a demurring. Welcome to a new show.
That joke was
that? How has your week been so far? Good, bad, just there. Don't worry, we're gonna be with you for the next. I don't even know how long this episode's gonna be, but you're gonna have fun, relax, forget anything that's stressing you, and get ready for some laughs and a little bit of mischief from her, not me.
Okay, sure. This episode, we're going to be talking about the music industry. The music industry evolves. Things happen all the time. We need to know, what's happening, how the algorithms are behaving, how you can blow, and all those things. We've talked about this a few times, but it is very important that we discuss, because it's such a broad topic. It's very important that we discuss various aspects of it. And we're going to have an expert, I'll call him an expert, in the studio to discuss that further. We also have fan mail. We've also got Moniezone and all of that. So watch out for that.
All right, it is time to meet our guest. He is the vice president of Dapper Music, and his name is Ademola Alugo.
Yeah.
Did I get it right?
No.
Try. Wait, okay, say it.
It's Alugo.
I don't know why you're laughing, because you didn't Alugo.
Yeah, you tried a lot.
I did better
Yeah,
before.
you
Alugo.
got it once.
Wait,
Alugo.
Alugo.
Yes.
Alugo. Okay.
Welcome, Demola.
Yeah.
How are you?
How
Just
many
call me
are me under the
Demola.
U?
Like, I don't even know, but like, just call me Demola. It's fine.
Demola. Okay.
Like,
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. Apparently, you thought this was like a wholesome, like family-friendly show.
You thought we were going to be like Christina Mampo. What's her name?
No. Like, not
He's
really.
been gagged and shocked by us off camera. Welcome to Off Air.
Very nice to be here.
Yes, as you can see, we're not very serious, but we try to be. So we're here to talk about music. You being the vice president of Dapper Music,
Can we talk about the artists? Just list out the artists under your record label.
do you have time?
Oh, wow. Okay.
How much time do you have?
Okay,
Yeah.
5.
No, it's not more than 5.
No, I said just give us 5.
Oh, okay.
Okay. TML Vibes, Cash Coming, T.I. Blaze, Balorankin, Bad Boy OML.
Okay.
Any
bye.
female artists?
Female artists, we're working with a couple.
Which is no. So
That's not
Guys,
no.
you guys are always
Like,
scared to sign female artists. Why?
I mean, I wouldn't say that we are, but like it's a thing where if the metrics make sense, if it makes sense on paper to do the deal, do it. Like the industry is male dominated, no? Like for every female artist that you have, like there's probably like 5, 10 male artists. So like there's a disproportion in the industry.
So why
itself.
not try and make it more?
So are you saying
Proportionate.
that there are less talented female artists?
I'm saying that there are less female artists generally. Like I'm saying that there are more male artists in the industry than there are.
Because you guys,
So that means that-
aren't signing them.
So that means that you are going to have like more shitty male artists as well. So it's,
Mention one talented female artist who is not necessarily big. Like the most talented female artist you know.
I don't like most is relatives, but like
For
I like
you,
I like Rhea. You understand?
Okay.
Like she makes like really good songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love Fave. I know you didn't ask me, but I love Fave. Fave is
Fave,
like,
I think that Fave is a blown artist. So like I wouldn't like it would feel like, like it's staying on her talent to say that she's not big enough. So, this King Maddie, it's just like a lot of people that are just amazing as well.
Can I just go in and ask a particular question?
Okay.
And I'm not judging anyone, and I don't want you guys to judge me either. Yeah. But I feel like there is a particular profile or type of artist that you guys like to sign. And I will refer to former signees, your Shay Vibes, your what's his name? Shally Poppin. Was his brother signed as well?
Zerdio.
Yeah. He was not signed.
It was.
He was to these people. Is there a set? What do you guys look for when you sign artists?
If you ask me personally, what we look for is marketability. What artists can you pick from this particular point with the fewest amount of dollar to conversion rate, and that you can work on like that. Some people would prefer certain types of artists, but for us, it's a case of this particular artist can scale at this particular level. So,
Is it the sort of artist that will appeal to the trenches and at the same time maybe crossover? What?
Let me remove your filter. Say what you want to say.
The trenches, yes. I'm just
Okay,
saying now.
yes. Because
They
Gbemi
do
was
have
like,
a festival called Trench Fest.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. As you were, sorry, continue.
okay, so the way that I look at it is look at the demographic of Nigeria itself. Look at where we have the largest core of people, like where we have like the largest listeners of music. If you take that data to compare it to like the larger society, because people like things that look a certain way, feel a certain way. But if you look at it, the easiest way for you to get from 1 to 10, 10 to 100, or like 100 to 1,000 is that demographic. that you
Yeah, and
refer
people
to.
love a grass to grace story.
So,
Yeah. So.
So obviously both of us have we're in the music industry, still kind of double.
Yeah, like OGs.
For a while. And I have seen different trends in music. I was still on radio when it seems like songs got significantly shorter. You'd have like a song that was generally, I think when I started radio, songs were like sort of between 3 to 4 minutes. And then we got to a stage where songs were like 2.5 minutes.
voice notes.
And in terms of even the way they were being released, so you'd have, again, sort of when I started, you'd have like an artist release a single. And the single will be, pushed for like a good few months. They will do the rounds and everything. And then around that time, I think Olamide was one of the main people that did this. You drop like a 2.5 minute song.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, you've got another song.
Yeah.
So where are we now? Because right now, music, social media is very, very, very big when it comes to how successful a song is.
Right.
I know that certain record labels, when their artist is about to drop a song, they already have the TikTok influencers working. Either they're going to, do dances, they're going to make it into a sound. They're going to, do all these different things.
Yeah.
So as somebody that has to know about these things and has to know about the trends, what's happening now?
So what I would say is that more than ever before, we have so much music going out.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like music that goes out in a month now is significantly more than what went out in a year, like say like a decade ago. So because of that, it means that the attention span has grown like really short. So if I have to listen to say 10 artists like in a week or something, and now you could just stumble on 100 different type of artists. So it means that the filter has become like very narrow. It's the same way that people scroll on like social media. If this thing interests you, you look, you pause, you look. If this thing doesn't, you scroll past. It's the same way, like, like fast consumption of anything else. That's the way that's why I put it down to.
Do you know the interesting thing? What you said actually also has hit the film industry. Ben Affleck and what's his name? His friend.
Matt Damon?
Yeah, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. They released a film last year. I can't remember the name. They were, I think, police officers. And they were just talking about how things have changed. And apparently, a lot of the film, production companies are basically saying that films need to be dumbed down.
Right.
Because people need to be able to watch the film while scrolling on their phones. Yeah. So if you make it so there's certain things that before they'd be like, keep it a mystery, and now they're like, oh, A plus A is this.
Yeah.
Did you hear? So it's actually very interesting that I don't think people really, really understand how big social media is, how big of a part it plays with entertainment in general. Yeah. Because now I think that if you have a good song, if it doesn't trend on social media, is it still considered a good song?
Depends on...
Or a hit song. There's a difference between a hit song and a good song. There's so many good songs.
Yeah.
But does it become a hit song? Which was my next question to say. So is the algorithm now the new A&R?
Definitely not. But what I would say is that the algorithm, it distributes. I think OffAir, you were saying you checked a couple things. Oh, Toolz was saying she checked a couple things and she's having the algorithm bring her a bunch of these things. So that's what's happening with the way that music is as well. What platforms focus on is a lot more retention. Did you play the song to the end? Did you share it? Did you save it? Did you pre-save it before the songs came out? Do you understand? So all of these things go into what type of songs are being pushed, what type of songs are being given visibility. So if you say that it's the algorithm, the new A&R, it's not, I would be lying if I said that, to a certain extent or to a certain degree, that doesn't determine what people are consuming. But it isn't the entire case because you need to understand what the system is rewarding. For
No, go ahead.
So for platforms, you understand, they want to know that, oh, people are staying in here, they're listening to songs to the end, they're sharing it with people, they're going outside of the app to, like transfer the music to, say you're posting directly from Apple Music on your story or something to Instagram. There's a way that, that is being portrayed. So it's the system clocks all of these things. Then there's data that is being collected. I think that that's a part that we do not realize a lot, that there's a lot of data in like being collected, a lot of data being given out. So all of these things influence what we see, what we hear, and what we listen to.
But it's not organic though, because what happens is now people are farming a lot.
Yes.
I know you're not going to say it. I'm not tied to any record label, so I could say it. A lot of people are farming.
Yes, they
what
are.
people are doing is paying the tens of thousands of dollars, or should I say tens of millions of naira, to appear on the number one, or to be even playlisted one, or to appear on the number one chart on certain streaming sites. But they hit me with a lawsuit. You understand? So that, because what some people do, or what a lot of people do, is go look at the top 10 or the top 15 or 20 on that chart, on that streamer. And people are paying heavily to get there.
I hear that.
So once they do that, and they're not only just doing that, they're also deploying thousands of micro influencers on Instagram and on Twitter, paying them as little as 2,000 to 3,000 naira to dance.
Yeah.
So it's not like this person just loves to dance. It's just that that's their daily 2K.
It's being orchestrated.
Dance to this song by this artist today. Dance to that song by another artist tomorrow. So it's not organic.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. And my feedback to that is that, to what end and at what level are you able to do that at? Say the very biggest artists that we have, for instance, look at Thames, look at Ashake, look at Wiz and all of that. You're not able to farm or fake, or you're not able to do like the fake influencing to that particular level.
I hear they're combining everything. Yes, they have huge fan bases.
Yeah.
But I hear that they also put marketing dollars towards farming.
Okay,
so
I don't know about.
So I would say this. So I'm gonna ask a question first. Who do you think is now behind the success of songs? Like, who do you think? Is it the actual music lovers? Is it the people that are on social media and are dancing to and love the song? So who is actually when you're putting together a plan? You've got an artist, you've got a new song, a new project that you're gonna drop. What are you looking at? Like the 4 or 5 key areas that you're like, okay, we need to get a big tick here. We need to get a big tick here. We need to get a big tick here. What are like the 3 or 4 things that you are like, we need to work on that?
Okay, I hear what you're saying, and I appreciate that question, because for me, the way that you look at it is every song is different. So for this particular song, for this particular artist, I'm a numbers guy. I look at it, okay, where are they streaming you the most? Who are the people that are listening to your music? What's the demographic of like the people that are listening to the music that you're listening to? Who are the people that we can cross over and say, okay, this audience is similar to these particular people that are not listening? Say, for instance, you have an audience of 18 to 24-year-olds listening to your music. It means that you can convert 16, 17-year-olds to listen to that music. It means that you can convert people like 25, 26 as well to get to this particular place. Do you understand what I'm saying? So for me, it's a combination of factors. You need to look at what the fans want to listen to. You need to see what exactly is going in that moment in time. Do you understand? At the start of a year, if you put out a song that speaks to prosperity, that lets people get like that feel-good feeling, you understand?
Don't wink at me because we discussed. Don't mind it because we discussed a particular song before we started.
There's a way that people would receive that. Do you understand? So there's elements of strategy in the way that you need to put songs are. There's elements of other things as well, but you need to just find what best works for this particular song or what like this artist has going for them already. So
What's the if you had to give us a formula? What's the formula?
That was my next question.
so
Actually,
for me personally, like I said, I think that there are no two songs that are exactly alike. So if you're trying to put out this particular song, what would work for it would probably fail for another song. So if you ask me, I think building community around your music is something that is really hard. If I ask you, for instance, now that, who are the most streamed artists in Nigeria, I think that you have an idea, but I don't think you would know like the exact artist that, like has like the highest amount of streams inside of Nigeria. And I'll give you like somebody that ranks very high is Omale. And Omale, for instance, now what he has is like core listeners, people that, come rain, come shine, they're going to listen to his music. They're not people that listen to this music on week one of release or they find it on Instagram or something. They go to listen to.
They pre-save.
Yeah, they
all
go to
those.
listen to old songs. I'm a mess. They go to listen to them. They go to listen to Attention.
Or them emo people, man.
Do you understand? Like just bare people that
I love Omale, though.
They know the people that they want to listen to, and they just go there. They cut through the noise. It's not the algorithm that's telling them, "Oh, go listen to this particular thing." No, like they know where they.
So it's almost I feel like you're saying if you're trying to play a long-term game. You can do the streaming, you could do the farming, you can do all of this if you want to, but the core thing is to build a fan base, build a fan base, a fan base that you connect with regularly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like
that's
you
interesting.
can also attest to it, like in the way that, the superstars that we have today, the way that they came up, the Weez, Burner, all of that. Like it took a long time for them to build a core of people that are stands today, people that, come what may, they're going to fight you like shirtless with for David or for Wizkid, for Burna Boy, do you understand? So it's something that they've built over time, and if you want to fake influence, people are going to be onto you like 2 weeks, like 6 months. So
how important is radio in this music conversation? So you have a release. Back in the day, we had your Alaba. Alaba was your major distribution plan. Now there's no more Alaba. Radio has lost its influence, to a certain degree. How important is radio? How important are those TV channels that play the videos now? Does the music video does it matter?
MTV's
anymore?
gone.
Or even the DJs. Back in the day, because I used to plug for artists.
Right.
Once you have a release, apart from the Alaba things, to make sure that you are on those playlists that these CDs they used to sell,
distribute.
you would speak to the radio personalities, you speak to their DJs, you would go to the DJ meeting on Monday and talk to them. You would do so many other things. Where are those people now? Like,
I hear what you asking, and for me, what I think is that evolution, like in life, in a lot of things, in the way that people do a lot of other things, as things has just evolved. Like before now, people had to go to classes to like attend class, write notes, and all of that. But now you can do all of that online. So it's just a case of evolution, and you need to evolve with the times, as opposed to complain where like Jay-Z calls it like swimming against the tide. So if you're trying to say, oh, like this thing is not the way that it used to be, get with the program. Not a lot of things are the way that they used to be. So right now, the marketing markers, they're like indicators of things that you need to do that are a little different from other. But I wouldn't say that traditional media like radio or TV stations are not important. I'm saying that you need to not only bank on those, you need to know that, okay, if I'm making provisions for this, I need to make provisions for other people. I need to, like, an influencer could just sit down and say, oh, I listened to this song, it's trash. It's not worth your time. Do you understand? And people are like, yeah, like, you're speaking my mind. It's not that. Do you understand? So what then happens to all of the effort that goes into TV and all of that? That's the reason why some people feel they need to, engineer that as well. Do you understand? So for every pro that you have, that's like, a corresponding con that, it will just bring for you. So
Let me ask you this question, and you have to be completely honest. So when one of your artists comes and basically says, I've got a new song that I've recorded, I want to put out there. When you listen to it, are you listening are you listening to check if it's a great record, or are you listening to check if it's something that can trend?
Being honest, a little bit of both. And the reason is that you need a moment. A song needs a moment, right? But if you look at it like this, if you have a song that doesn't have substance, it's not a great song, but it has a moment. What it will look like is like a candle that you light, it burns out after a while. But also, if you have great content that doesn't have a moment that you can capture, right? It's like firewood without like sparks. So the way that I look at it is you need to look for a blend, or you need to find a leverage that, brings like a synergistic alliance between those things. So take, for example, like when Free Mind was released in 2020, there wasn't a lot of, let us dance, or create this particular, cut out this 15-second period, let people go do it. But we entered like global charts in 2023. So it goes to tell you that like a moment, right, is something that you need, but you don't necessarily have to go out there to engineer it. It's the way that, that's the way that I think.
What I used to tell artists and labels back in the day was that your chorus matters
It does.
a lot. Is it a danceable chorus?
Yeah.
Or is it a song? Or is it a chorus that has easy lyrics to sing?
Yeah, you sing it in the shower.
Or is there a part in the song where, like you said, a moment, basically. I remember talking to your brother-in-law years ago, by the way, when they were still, fully.
Oh, I was gonna be like, which one of them? Sorry, go on.
And he said that they used to play Wiz's songs for the kids, his kids. And if they dance to it or Skills' songs, they know that, okay.
Yeah.
Because kids are honest.
Yeah.
And if they don't dance to it,
it's like it's not registering.
It's not gonna go far.
Yeah.
Same thing. I was watching a documentary about strip clubs and how important they are, especially in the ATL scene, and how rappers said before they would release any song to the radio, they would take it to the strip clubs, even when the girls were, because during the week they'll practice, during the day they'll practice. If the girls cannot shake ass to that song,
particular song, it
not,
shows you that it's DOA.
But this is so different things happen for different, like how you mentioned Free Mind. Everybody knows, they might not even know the name of the song.
Yeah.
But the moment this is the PC you cannot buy,
like,
and once we already know, once any American or foreign babe starts putting that song on her story, she's sleeping with one Nigerian guy. You already know. They already know. What is the truth? So it's
No. It's a bunch of things. When that happens, when she starts like eating Jolo fries.
Jolo
fries.
Oh, I love that
Jolo
Jolo fries.
Or
fufu.
I was gonna say it's deep. It's that when she starts listening to the music, there's a guy that's talking to her that she's been in his car a few times and everything. When she starts eating the Jolo fries, he's taking her to a restaurant. Or when she starts eating the fufu, it's over. It's over. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the big three. Do you think that, obviously, Wizkid, Burna, and Davido, do you think that they would break out the same way if they were starting today?
I think they'll break out, but I don't think they'll break out the same way. So something that is happening today is that the attention span and the incubator period that people have is not something that they had back in the day. There were times when, like the big three as we have them today, they struggled, they had risen to prominence, but there was still a bit of, that there was David, there was Wiz, there's Burna, but like they were behind a P-square. Like the band is going to, perform our shows that before or ahead of these guys, you understand. But something that they had is like a grace period where the thing could marinate, they had like incubator systems. And something more than anything else that nobody can actually take away from them is like there's something very authentic, true to self that all of them have individually. Davido, there's the warmth about him. Everybody remembers the way that they feel after an interaction with him, the way that you just look at Davido and it makes
personable.
You feel. Yeah, the other people like Burna, right? He has like that complex and conviction about his music, like the global superstars of the world. When they're in Burna's presence, you see that they feel the need to comport. Like they're almost like, I'm in presence of greatness. And there's something about Wiz where it's like effortless swagger, like something that just doesn't need caption, doesn't need explaining. It's just like, bro, like I can't be. So all of those.
Very well answered.
Yeah, all of those things, right?
None of them wouldn't come for you.
Yeah. So all of those things, if you look at it, all of those things, they have like a way to speak to people, and great artists of the past have some or like, elements of these things about them. You get me? So,
I think the way that they've also, particularly, I would say Wiz and David, the way that they've built their fan base, I don't know if that's something that artists can replicate nowadays, because they have like, I remember when doing a project with Asa, and there's like it's almost like politics. there's almost like a regional coordinator at this one and this one and that one and everything. And I'm just like, damn.
Yeah, like group chats and whatnot. Like,
and these are people that these are not people that they employed. These are people that started a movement, started a movement, and then they were noticed, and they were like, okay, fine, let's get together.
I think also that we also need to note that they were not built in a day. So it took some time. All these people you are mentioning now, it took
at least 15 years. At least 15 years in the game.
It took some time for that to happen. Another person who has like a great community base is Adekunle Gold.
Yes.
He's the only artist that I know that sends newsletters to his
Yes,
fans.
like I received
and they're
Adekunle Gold's
super
newsletters.
excited when they get these newsletters. They rejoice as if you put money inside because they like to feel like, remember the psychologist that we had a couple of seasons back on the show?
When we're talking about Big Brother.
Yeah, when we're talking about Big Brother and Stanship, and she said, look, generally, the average human being is lonely. And they want to feel part of something.
Yeah.
So that is why they go so hard. With these stand groups and these whether you are a 30 BG person or a space person or whatever it is you want to call, because they want to feel like part of a collective.
Yeah.
Do
you remember? Sorry, we had this episode where we had I don't know why we did this. We had a 30 BG rep. And then we had like a what's it called?
FC
Wizkid FC. So we had them, and literally, like, we had them as guests.
Did you have securities though? Like, did you have like security on standby?
So they were going at each other, and this one was like, "That's why your artist did this. That's why your artist did this." And it came down to it. Have you met them? No.
Do they know you personally?
No. So I just was like, your life is on the line. One of them is online, like, just,
One of them claimed that Toolz and I hated Wiz and we didn't like him. And I'm looking
because that time that we tried to rob him, that was a joke.
Yeah, and then no. I think what happened, we were teasing a guest on our show on the previous season, and we're teasing her about possibly dating Wiz.
Yeah.
And then Wizkid FC, old, something when you've recorded something,
and
then they just happen to see it months after, and decided to attack us. Attack us in hordes. I must have blocked like 5,000 people that day.
Oh my God.
But before I block you, I'll abuse your mommy, abuse your daddy, because as you abuse me, I abuse you back. Yeah. And then I'll block you, and then so he was one of those, and I also blocked him, by the way. And then so we're like, so after we said, so have you met him? And he was like, no. We're not like. And then, funny enough, the week before, Wiz was, I think, in her house or something.
No, we went for, it was his, I think his kid's birthday.
Yes.
So we, as much as I hate Wiz, I was at his kid's birthday party.
There was a video with you,
and he was playing with my kids.
And so we're like, did you see the clip? And he was like, yes, so she was like a toy. I was like, okay, so explain again. You've not even smelt this person's presence. But us who... A phone call away.
Yeah.
We can call
have like a relationship.
You don't know what conversations we're having with this person, whether in person or even via the DM.
Yeah.
But you swear. Because you are the class captain.
It was deep. It was so deep because I remember I think there was one time that I was in Ghana when they were still like in Ghana, and I ended up having lunch with Jada. And oh my gosh, she's a snake. And I'm just like, Gbemi. So I feel like I don't think I've actually ever explained this on air, so I'll say it. Wizkid, Burna, and David, we knew them from the very, very beginning. So I can never say I'm a Wizkid FC. I can never say I'm 30 BG. I can never say this because it feels like it's weird because I saw literally. I remember the very first
like an Indani episode like with Wiz that
you cannot mention any of these people's stories without mentioning the beats.
No,
Do
genuinely.
you understand? So outside of the beats, personal events, didn't he attend? Didn't Wiz and Wale come to your wedding? There's so many things. We used to hang out at the AR, what's it called, the Aristocrat House.
Yeah,
all the time.
Wiz was at my wedding. Davido was at my wedding. Burna Boy, because his manager Koch used to work at the station. Yeah. I would be the one that Koch is like, he did this. I'd be like, tell him to come. Burna, sit down. But why would you do that? Blah, blah, blah. So it's really weird when somebody says you don't like this. And I'm like, when you were but a speck in your father's eye, I was already involved.
What it is also? Right? Here's what it is. We have a large group of people who are also quite young.
Yeah.
And we're probably in primary school when this was happening.
Yeah.
So think this is 2026. Let's say 10, 12 years ago. Not even that far, but they were super young.
Yeah.
Probably didn't have access to the internet.
Yeah.
So they think.
Because your mommy didn't let you.
They were too young. They don't understand. They don't know the history and things like that. So it's always so funny. I'm just like, are you joking? Wiz, who used to bring me flowers and chocolate cake, are you joking? Because he knew that's what I liked. Like, or let me give you an example now. Somebody, let's leave Naija. I think something happened a couple of years ago where TikTok resurrected one of Missy Elliott's old songs from back in the day that we all, as millennials, would know. And somebody said, "Wow, there's this new artist called Missy Elliott. Are you mad?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Or when they said when Dunk Mighty and Wiz did a song and they're like, oh, there's this new artist that Wizkid brought up.
that
I was
Wizkid
like,
puts on.
Dunk Mighty,
But
Dunk Mighty, that was
I asked someone if they know. Gosh, who was it now? It was a female artist. If they know so and so person, the person had like solid. I don't want to mention who, so it won't be like I'm trying to downplay the person, whatever. But the person had solid songs back in the day and stop music. And the person is in their 20s and they were like almost 30 and they were like, oh, I don't remember.
Yeah.
This person was, wow, the songs are not bad. And I'm like, so those are the people. Because again, I always say, you cannot be a gainfully employed, sane person who has things to do, a family to feed, and do you understand, you are hustling and you sit down and be quarreling on social media, going from blog to be insulting people. Your head is not correct because you're idolo, what they call it.
I feel that I remember being at an event and I don't know what happened. I think there was a tiff between is it David and I can't remember if it was Wiz or Burner. One of them did something, and I'm at this event with grown ass people that have grown ass kids.
What happened?
And one of them was like, "No, me, I'm 30 PG. I'm like, you need to think about your retirement plan. That's what you need to be thinking about. Is your blood pressure okay? How is your sugar? How's your cholesterol? That's what you should be worrying about." So essentially, just to wrap this whole thing up, for me, because of when I started, in music and everything, it's actually very, very important for me that all of them do well.
Yes.
That all of them do well, because it's something very, I don't know what the word is.
It's part of the house that you built.
The fact that I remember when I first met them. I remember, I will always remember when Asa brought David with his first single, and David's back there, and Asa's like, "Oh, this is," and I listened to him, I'm like, "Okay, this isn't bad," and then I'm like, "Cool, we'll see what we can do."
Yeah.
With Burner as well, we literally, Wiz, it wasn't. I ended up marrying somebody, the part owner of EME,
Right.
so that one, I was like, I would be hearing things first. I'm like, okay. But anyways, let's move on. Let's talk about
Let's talk about. So I'm so sorry. Quick question. I was at a restaurant the other day.
Yeah.
And the restaurant's tables were so close. So there was a mom and a girl sitting there. Beautiful girl, light skin, the typical Nigerian spec. And so she went to the bathroom, and then her mom was on the phone, and she was like, "Yeah, we're here in Nigeria to meet with a few producers to see how this music thing will go." And my heart went out to them. I was like, "Hey, you want to join Nigerian music industry, sister?" Didn't know her name.
Yeah.
I hope you didn't say anything to them.
No. I wanted to say, in my mind, when you're in your mind having a conversation to say, I wish you all the best.
The Lord is with you.
The Lord is with you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, we flew in to speak to some producers.
Yeah.
You could tell they were from America. And I was just like,
of all the artists in the game, if it's 5% that are successful, if it is, that's Anyways, so let's talk about let's move on a little bit. Let's talk about I was
leading to that to say, if a fresh new artist was entering the industry today, what advice would you give this person to say, you want to blow, Abby? This is what you need to do. Are you going to tell them to go the controversy route? Are you going to tell them to go, talent first route? Are you going to tell them go and do as many free shows as you can? Are you going to tell them pay as many blogs as you can? What will you tell them to do? Because this industry.
To be fair, something that I always do not try to do is to act like constituted authority on anything.
Mm.
But in my own books, it is talent, visibility, and whatever exposure you're able to get.
Talent.
Yes.
Because there are some big artists that are
so-
not talented.
Yes.
Sorry.
So you're saying that how do you move today if you were just breaking out? And talent is something that you don't pay for. Like if you have it, you have it, right? And visibility is a case of, okay, you're online, you're performing free shows, you're doing something for somebody to see. So I'll give you an example. Everybody in and around the music industry, they were aware of Ashake's ability or greatness to some degree. You know, if you asked Tenny, if you ask like people that they were just close, they will tell you. If you ask people that were in OAU, you know, like Black Bones made a tweet and it's like the greatest performer in our industry is in OAU. Like way back when, I don't have the exact time.
I saw the tweet. It
So
was an old,
very, very
tweet.
old. So it's like the talent was always there. And the exposure in terms of, okay, I know this particular person. This person can get me to Olamide. This person can get me. Do you understand? That was what, you know, it was in and around.
So
And the
show your
moment,
talent.
yes, like if you have talent, then you should try to like do visibility and just try to leverage everything else that you're able to leverage. It might take a bit of time because pre-2020, people were aware of who Ashake was. Do you understand? But like Omokbe came out and the rest for him is history. And you can see him move like a superstar that, you know, like he is today. So for me, if you want to break out, something that you should be able to do. If you know that, okay, you're, you know, very, very passionate about this thing, you have talent, visibility is the next thing, just work your way up from there.
Okay, so now let's talk about the whole Afrobeats thing on the global level. Is the Afrobeats movement, is it dead?
Afrobeats to the world. Oh.
Afrobeats to the world,
What do
is
you
it still
think?
going heavy or is it? I would say that it's definitely slowing down.
Yeah.
I would say it's definitely slowing down. And I think that what happened was, I feel that a lot of the people in the abroad, a lot of the, you know, decision makers or whatever, I don't feel like they fully understood what Afrobeats was. And I don't know if that's because, I'm not quite sure the reason behind that. I also feel that, you know, there's some people that were like, oh, this Afrobeats is cool, this is cool, but they don't really understand it. Let me give you an example. That is why Tyler is winning Best Afrobeats. Now, let me say this. I am actually a massive Tyler fan. I like Tyler's very, you know, like when you're getting ready, you know, make me so very, and I love what she does, but it's not Afrobeats. It's pop. I feel like Tyler should be in the pop categories. She's not Afrobeats. So for me, that just shows that the certain decision makers, they don't really understand what it is. And I also feel that perhaps, this is my personal opinion, I also feel like some of our artists didn't really come together and build something that was not going to just be like a flash in the pan. Think about back in back in the Sean Paul, like when Ragga was, it felt like everybody had, even Gwen Stefani, no doubt, I'm showing my age, yes, had like a Ragga a dancehall song and everything. So, but what I feel is like, they worked together a lot, didn't they? They worked together a lot. And then there was just something a bit different with their movement. So when the whole Afrobeats to the world thing started, I was like, let's see what's going to happen. I feel that there are other things that are part of this equation. Again, like you've said as well, people having shorter attention spans. When it was Sean Paul, what were we doing? We're listening to the radio. Where I used to do mixtapes with my friends.
It on CDs.
That was me. So when we'd be like going on holiday, my friends would be like, okay, we're going to New York and everything. We'll be flossing, but all of us would be like in one bedroom. Like two people on the bed, two people. Anyways, but I was in charge of the music, so I'd literally like do the mixtape and everything and whatever. So things were different back then. But what do you think? Because you made me answer my own question, and you thought you were smart, but you're still going to answer my question.
So what I think is the yardstick that we're measuring it against has changed. Do you understand? So it's like Afrobeat to the world. Typically before now, what would happen is a Nigerian artist sells out the O2. The first thing that comes to your mind is, oh, Afrobeat to the world. It's like, oh, now, like that sound that we used to hear in Lagos, the thing that is from Ojuelegba, Victoria Island and whatnot, is being played like in London, UK. It's being played, you know, like at the Met Stadium. It's like, so you feel that global element. But right now, like, it's not a big deal that Wiz, Burna, or like Ashake sells out O2.
So we've passed that.
Yeah, we've moved past that. Another thing that, you know, you need to stop. I told you, I look at the numbers like a little bit, right? Afrobeats, like the listenership has grown more than 200% in Latin America.
Okay.
You understand? It has grown to like other parts of the world. So for me, right, I would say that we have something of a structure problem, where it's like there isn't like, like fully set up structures to allow artists go into like their craft and flourish, where some other elements or some other people, and that's what you would find in the West. There's proper structure around things. Go
When
do the
you
music.
say structure,
Yes.
so I need you to break it down, because when you go to these music conferences and these media conferences, we hear the structure word all the time. So can you like briefly explain what you mean by structure? So you were going there, so create
So
as an artist.
For instance, now like an artist, he's an artist. Don't let him worry about like where the splits are coming from, or like what the publishing is saying, where all of this particular revenue streams is going to come from. Let him create. There is somebody on the team. You don't put all of these things on the shoulder of a manager because somebody wants to book an artist. Somebody wants to be on the road with this particular person. There are people that they have office jobs, 9 to 5, that what they are supposed to do is to do analytics. What they're supposed to do is for them to, look at where is the streams coming from. So where are we supposed to look at for tours? Where are we supposed to look
Where are we
at
supposed
for
to
the
go next?
shows? Do you understand? What type of artists are we supposed to be collaborating with? What audience, like are crossing this thing? So a lot of this, some people do it, but we don't have as much people doing that. Do you understand? So
Do you know who does it? Do you know who does it? You know who does that? Mr. Easy. So Mr. Easy, I've one of the reasons why I always say this, I love interviewing, I love speaking to Mr. Easy because I feel that he, with this whole music industry, there's the talent part of it, which is important, but the business part of it. So I had a conversation once, and he was basically saying that he would never like simply just sign with, as much as there was a time when Sony, Universal, they were looking for African artists, and he basically was explaining to me that that's not the best route to go. That what you could do is you could sign multiple deals. So you could say, this, my single, I'm going to get Sony Europe to service it. This other single, maybe I feel like it would work better in South America. I'm going to give it to them. So I do think like what you said, for example, why don't we have more collaborations with Nigerians and like South American artists? Do you remember there was this song that was so popular on social media? Gosh, guys, don't make me sing it.
Is it Rema's song?
No. It was this francophone song. This song by a francophone artist. Oh, you guys are gonna make me sing. Okay, fine. The one that goes, yimmy, 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 yimmy. I love that song. But you know what this guy did? It was already big. He now went to collaborate with like an Indian artist. And it was creative. So similar to what happened with Rema and Selena Gomez. So I do think that we need to be kind of, like looking out and maybe doing... not doing the just American tours, go to South America, go to,
The way you said structure, another thing that you mentioned is, and some people are not going to like this, but it is the truth. Because some of these labels have come here, they've had to hire Nigerians in some positions, and they don't know jack about what they're supposed to do. You were just some guy who was in the entourage of some artists.
You talked a good game.
And thank you. And they just put you and gave you this title. There's a lot of people like in those positions.
Do you want to care? Do you care to name names?
No,
sure?
They know themselves. But like, you're looking at this person, like.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said she use her heart.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying, like you just like that this person doesn't have anything upstairs, but they've given them one title with so and so records. And we all know that you used to be the guy who would drink last because you were not contributing to the drinks anyway.
As in you're saying, Koni position.
But we all know. Artists have, even the smallest artist has a crowd, a little group. So you were one of those people. And I'm not saying that all the people who do that don't have sense. But it's true. Because when you be like, you are what? And then
so like they don't have like the expertise to
they don't have
hold
the expertise.
the position.
They don't have the education. They don't have the experience. Your experience is that you follow the artist to the club a few times and on tour. sure.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have a particular position. You were not the manager. You were not the PA.
So essentially, are you saying that
So a
the
lot
lack
of
of
that-
structure that we have in the
Yes,
industry
it's also-
is what's affecting the Afrobeats movement?
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
there was also nothing put in place to train these people, you know. And even when there were conferences and forums and all sorts of things that people would call, the artists will not come, the crew will not come. It was on-air personalities and music enthusiasts that will fill the place.
Yeah.
So you don't know what the heck you're doing.
Yeah.
And so you've gone and I encourage these artists to go and take this nonsense deal. And so now they are like running from pillar to post,
So,
desperate for,
yeah.
for a what's it called? A hit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
You
And
know,
I think I agree with you to a very large extent. And what I
Okay.
think is that over time, it's a teaching process. It's a process where like we didn't have this platform, you know, like in the 90s or like early 2000s as we have it today. Do you understand? It's emerging. What we have today is significantly better than what we used to have in terms of like what a seeming structure looked like. So I felt like if we give it time, it's going to evolve as well. People are getting better as
But
well.
do you think when it finally comes together, it's going to be too late? Like, do you actually feel like this whole Afrobeat to the world thing has peaked?
No.
You know, so you think it's
if
still...
you ask me, no.
Okay.
So I think that until the point where we get to like a place where we put out music and the music, just because it's an Afrobeat record, there's like a kid in Jakarta, like in Indonesia or something, they're like singing this particular song like lyric for, and they don't even know where it's from. They don't know where the artist is. It feels like that is something that the statistics is telling us that we're still going in this particular level. Do you understand? We have a lot of money that's even unclaimed in terms of like publishing and those things. So depending on how you look at it, do you understand? If you look at it in terms of discovery, right? It might not be it might not be so new for anybody to discover anymore, but that is it's not just going to crash down. Do you understand? So that's the way that I look at it.
Is
Okay,
there
it's
a
interesting.
reason why artists abroad, I'll use the US for example, still go to radio stations like, you know, the what's it called, the Breakfast Club, Angie Martinez's show, Angela Yee's show, all these people go to Ebro, go to
Yeah.
all these people to do interviews, the top
Yeah.
like A-lists. But I do not recall the last time one of the top 5
Yeah.
in this country have gone to any radio station to do any interview.
I feel very passionately about that, and I might hurt your feelings if I answer that.
No, feel free. Am I there? I left radio 5 years ago.
All right, cool. So like I feel like
So-
you have like close relationship with like my answer to that would be that our traditional media hasn't evolved. You know, you talk
Why
about
would
like,
that hurt my feelings?
no, like you know, like you used to work there, so it's like so the
5
way that
years ago.
the way that I look at it is like if you look at it, right, there's been an evolution to how we consume music,
Media.
how we consume attention, the way that what people want to see, pretty much. So it's not a case of like you have like a radio show, somebody does this, or you're supposed to come at a particular time. So like the Breakfast Club, do you understand? You go on the show, like it's very funny. It's not necessarily like the type of structured situation that you have. I remember like Bernard talking about like he wants to do an interview with Ebuka or something, you know, like for him to like say what was on his mind, type of thing. So it's not to say that people don't necessarily want to do this thing. It's not the way that it used to be. There's been like an evolution in the way that people consume media, people consume film, everything else. But it feels like, you know, the traditional media here is a little bit static. Like it's just
they've not
it's-
evolved.
Yes.
So okay. So they need to do more evolving for
Yes,
people
they need to,
start
like,
to
get with
respect
it.
them or regard them.
Yeah,
now.
they need to get with the times. They need to, you know, like see what exactly is happening today and like how exactly it's supposed to go, you know, like maybe like
I'll say that two things can be true.
Yeah.
I'll say that what you said,
Yeah.
that's fair. But at the
Yeah.
same time, you know, a trend that even before I left radio, I did notice that certain artists, once they're popping internationally, coming back home is like, hey, I'm not doing, you know, you'll see them on different radio stations
Over
in the
10.
States, in the UK, different radio
Yeah.
stations.
Give
but
me them gist.
yeah, but coming back to Nigeria, they could be in Nigeria for like 3 weeks
Yeah.
and they won't do even one, you know,
You know,
people that
that is-
literally
that
peop- so, and these are people that you know, before they reach the next level of success, you know, they were friends of the station. You know, you did this, we did that for them and everything. This is obviously while I was working at Beat. And then things kind of changed. So I will say, in terms of what you said, I would say that's a fair point.
Yeah.
But I also feel like there's this whole mental, like, oh my gosh, I'm like a superstar
You know
now.
what?
I
don't disagree. I don't disagree because you see people be very casual abroad as well. Like they just talk about things, and I'm like, bro, like
Why are you giving them
where's
all
that?
this tea?
Yeah, where's that energy? Like like back home. So like I agree with you as well. Then we could just match our points.
So what is the biggest lie upcoming artists believe about fame and success in music?
Why did you do that? What if you see he was like, speak now.
So what I think is
Don't be measured.
No,
Should we bring you some alcohol?
It's fine.
You want some alcohol?
No, I don't.
What do you want?
You
do
don't
you want
drink?
Oh
some?
my god.
Wait,
no,
wait.
no,
Do
I
you
don't.
drink?
No, I don't.
Do you want
Do you
some
smoke?
crack?
Girl,
I
we're
don't.
not offering the guest crack. Do
Are
you
you-
smoke?
Are you offering now?
No, I don't have crack. I don't. She was the one who said it.
Okay.
Do you smoke?
If I said yes, would you bring me?
Smoke a step outside. Do you smoke?
No, I don't.
Okay. So what? You don't drink.
Do you do
You don't
edibles?
smoke. Wait. You are in the music industry. It must be women.
What? I don't know what you
What?
speak of.
My theory is everybody has a vice.
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody has a vice. So
Yes.
unless you want to say what your vice is.
No, I mean like
I don't come out with that rich. I just like to work hard.
I mean, like some people's vices might be, like maybe working out. So like does that count?
You're going to come on our show. You're going to look me in my Koro eye. And you're going to tell me that your vice is working out.
I'm saying like you said that people have vices. And I'm saying that could that be somebody else's
Well, we're
vice?
asking you.
Like you're asking me
Yeah,
particularly.
not people.
Okay.
What's your vice?
I don't know. I think
Because
that
it's a tough industry to work.
Yeah.
What's your Achilles heel?
am I the one that's supposed to tell you that?
No, everybody like has
No,
something.
I feel like people find that out.
How do you relax?
How do I-
Because dealing with artists is a lot of work.
Don't forget, I still asked you a question, but continue.
No, dealing with artists is a lot of work. Like, I remember I was supposed to interview this one artist a couple of years ago, one of your popular artists.
Okay.
And the person was supposed to come. You know how radio is now,
Yeah.
structured. Your time is from this time to this time.
This time.
And then the person did not come. And then the manager came and said, oh, he's here? No. We just had to wake him up, but he didn't want to wake up.
Oh. What do you
I remember
mean?
when people would, I'm sure you got
Yeah.
like requests from people when you're on radio to, can you manage this artist or can you look after this artist? And I used to say, I will deck the person because if we know that we're supposed to be
Do this
on
particular
Toolz's
thing.
show, for example, at
10.
11 a.m. and then at 9, I'm
Yeah.
waking you and you're telling me you don't feel like,
Yeah.
I will box you. Come on, get up. Are you like, so how do you deal? Because artists are very interesting to deal with. A lot of artists are not. I think if you pick 10 artists,
Sorry, I just remembered the story. Somebody asked me to manage them, and I said, "You won't survive."
yeah, I would
I said,
actually.
"You won't survive."
I will kill you
Let
I
me tell
dead.
you what.
You know what I would do? I would also, oh gosh, how do I
No.
say this? How do I say this without getting into trouble?
Mhm.
Obviously, my husband, EME and everything, and there was a particular.
Artists.
Should I talk it?
Give us
Tell
the
us,
gist
like,
now,
give
because
us
there were
tea.
different artists.
They were different artists.
Yeah.
Oh, until they start dragging me, and then Kelvin was gonna be like, oh. So there was
No.
this. So I saw there was a situation where a particular artist they had was supposed to perform at a wedding, and this was like a big,
Wedding.
I think I'm not even gonna say the industry,
Yeah.
but it was like a top person's wedding, and the person wasn't in town. So these people have said we want this person to I want this person to perform at my daughter's wedding, blah 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 blah. Money had they
Exchange
paid
hands.
and
Yeah.
everything, and then it was a case of getting the artist
get there.
to come because they were like were they in the UK or like America? I think it was America. So booked business class tickets and everything. Missed the
I know
flight.
the story.
Missed the flight. Then they were now. I think they got another ticket. And
Mr. Fly.
missed the flight. Then they
What?
were now like, because of the time difference in the whole, they were now like trying to sort out like a private jet and everything.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there and watching my husband, and then the next thing, this vein just popped up on his head. This vein just, and I'm like, wow.
Wow.
I'm like, that wasn't there before.
Wow.
And I could see, and then so the vein came up on his head, and then
Yeah.
his eyes started to turn like red.
Yeah.
And so at that point, although I'd heard different stories before,
Yeah.
so this was like this wasn't like sort of at the beginning of my radio career. This was
Yeah.
like obviously much,
Yeah.
much later because
Yeah.
I was with my husband then.
Yeah.
Then I think if there was any doubt in my mind about managing artists,
Yeah.
I think that further solidified. So so guess what?
Yeah.
They had to for that wedding, they had to return the money
Yeah.
and they had to provide somebody else.
Mhm.
So if you think about it now, that is 2 business class tickets.
Yeah.
Gone.
I think it wasn't even like I think they got 2 one time and then they
Yeah.
got so that's how many business class tickets lost. The money that they paid
Yeah.
for this artist, the money that they had to pay to get another artist.
Yeah.
So when I remember when the first time that somebody asked me to manage them, I was like, I don't know if this is I will kidnap you.
Yeah.
I will lock you in my basement. I don't have a basement, but I'll build one to lock you in.
Let's be honest. Like, if you pick 10 artists, 9 are badly behaved. I'm sorry. Because, and this is not, I'm bringing out just from, my ass.
Yeah.
This is stuff that we've seen. There's
Yeah.
stories that we could tell for days.
Right.
Like what she explained, there's so many.
There's so many.
One time I was on the set of a video and it was this artist featuring this artist. So they were shooting, they shoot music videos in bits, and I did a quick cameo. And I was like, where is the featured artist?
No,
They said,
not-
we
not
don't
here.
know. We've been calling him.
us.
When they later found him, he was high in another country. When you had been told they had booked this thing, he was
Everything was
high
in
as
place.
a kite. In another country, there's another one where all these alcohol brands. They had paid this artist to be their brand ambassador, the face of this particular campaign.
I feel like I know this
You
one.
know who this person is. And they even flew in the crew because they wanted it to be gang.
Yeah.
They flew in the crew. The director was not Nigerian. Nobody was Nigerian. Everybody was gang. They shot out the extra scenes that they wanted to shoot. Where is this artist? They kept calling. They called him. They called his management. They called him. They called his management. He didn't show up. I think his call time was like 10 a.m. and they were ready. Not like, they will have him waiting. He didn't show up until like 9 p.m. They had lost daylight. Do you know why he didn't come? He had a pimple. A small pimple. They said the director wanted to run mad because he had never seen such in his life.
Yeah.
And if I was the manager at that point, I would have punched him and the pimple.
Like, there's so
Like,
much.
straight
There's
up.
so much that
This is
so
this
you
all of
dealing-
this, all
Yes.
of this, and I'm this is probably going to be very, very on PC or whatever. But I understand Suge Knight.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh, pistol whip you.
Because
Are you okay?
if you're gonna pull shenanigans like that, why am I not gonna dangle you off a balcony?
You know what?
Why am I not going to? Sorry,
No,
Are
no,
you
no, no. I'm like, no, no. I
Are
was
you
collaborating
offended?
what
So
you
do you
said.
resort to violence since you don't drink and you don't smoke? We're back to you. It's not that we forgot you.
What? Like we went
You
all
really
this
want to
rounds.
outgame.
There's another
We
question that you haven't answered,
you want
but we'll
to
come back to
outgame
that.
2 veteran broadcasters.
No,
Who
no,
do you
no,
think
no,
you
no.
are?
I'm not even trying to do that,
So
right?
what's the
So
vibe?
she had said that what's a fact
Okay,
that
what is the
people do not
biggest
know.
lie upcoming artists believe about fame and success in music? What's the biggest lie?
That's a million streams or like 10 million streams. Just
Yeah,
the popularity
blown.
that people, it means that there's a whole lot of money in your bank account.
So 1 million streams, what does that mean financially?
Yeah, like, it depends. Like if your million streams come from sub-Saharan Africa, it's less than 1,000 depending on the platform.
$1,000.
Yeah, and what about if it comes from like the UK,
like, say
US?
like it comes from Sweden or it comes from the US. Like you're looking at between like $5,000 and $8,000 like in Sweden. I mean, like that's where Spotify is from. So like that's specifically I know. And if you're talking about the US, you're looking at say 4,000, 5,000.
So basically, 1 million views or 1 million streams does not mean you have blown.
No.
Okay.
Quick question I was going to ask you,
Yeah.
because of your record label experience, what is the biggest dispute all the time between artists and labels? You always hear artists and labels drama. Every other day, there's some artists, tweeting or posting or saying some stuff like, I'm tired, I've left, one thing. What usually is the crux of the issue? Money?
To me, money. But more than anything else, I think that it's a misalignment or like lack of alignment from day one. So more often than not, right, I need somebody's help. I would be like,
Baba, help
Artina,
me, help
please
me.
do this for me. Like if you do this for me, I would never leave you. Like I think that like I don't even need to give people examples. You're able to see it like visible in like our industry. Like like this person is excited to be signed by somebody else. the time of their
They
deal.
start out humble.
Yeah,
long
the time of
neck.
their deal, is expired, and they're like, you know what, I've arrived at this point. Just kick rocks, like.
And then
do
they
that.
now make it,
Yeah.
and then they're like, "Oh, you are
Yeah.
cheating me. You are
Yes.
taking
Or
my
some.
money.
So
Slave
maybe.
contract."
So for instance, maybe like a label is somebody has been in the business and they're in the business to make money, and they put all of the modalities in place to make sure that this particular thing is mitigated, because you cannot break like some of those contracts. You then go to like court of public opinion to say, oh, like this particular person is doing this to me, like doing that to me. Like you have a valid contract. If you do not have a valid contract and they're, like cheating you, sue them.
Yeah,
should do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Do you understand? So it's a case of, okay, cool, like we're not aligned, and before you blew up, you saw it as me helping you do this particular thing. When you blew up, you saw it as, oh, you like giving more than you needed to give. So
yeah, I think that whole court of public opinion has just like messed up things. Okay, so one more question before we go into truth or trash.
okay.
So I asked you the biggest lie, and I'm gonna ask you this: what is the one industry truth nobody likes to say publicly?
One industry truth nobody likes to say publicly. I mean, everybody believes in their own genius. Like everybody believes that, oh, like I am this, that, or the other. And I think that more than ever before, we need each other now. I think you referenced it as saying, when like the Jamaican wave was up, like there was a lot of collaboration. People held each other's hands and they grew together. And I feel like there's more money on the table if we all came together and like we united. But more than anything else, everybody wants to, posture themselves as the genius, the person with the magic wand, the person that comes
I'm
up
number
with
one.
the best thing.
I'm
Do you
number
understand?
one.
So more than anything else, if we're able to say, you know what, like I respect Gbemi's expertise, I'm going to sit down with Toolz as well. Like we need to just bring everything to the table, put like a portion of where I'm going to control, what you're going to do.
The money would be crazy,
It's
because
going to be
I feel
significantly more.
that I get very disappointed when we hear about a new tiff between the sort of big three,
Yeah.
and I'm just thinking, imagine if Wiz, Burner, and David
Yeah.
and Tiwa did like a world tour.
Yeah, they agreed
Like
to
a
say,
world,
this is
not
what
like
we're
a
going-
I'm going to thingy, like they did like a world tour. Look at what Chris
Usher
Brown
and
and
Chris
Usher,
Brown and
because
Chris.
for the longest time they've been pitting, they've been saying, okay, Usher's
Yeah,
like, oh, Chris
Usher,
Brown is now the,
yeah.
and an Usher and Chris Brown concert makes the maddest
Bruh.
sense, because you're
coming in
cutting
months,
across
by the
different
way.
generations. By the
Yeah.
way, you're cutting across different
And it's
generations.
going to be a
They're the
madness.
R&B fans that are going to be there solid. So I get disappointed, because I'm like, while you're thinking about sort
Yourself.
of me, if you guys literally said, you know what, I don't like you too, but let's make money.
Yeah, it's money
That's
on the
it.
table.
I think that we should also take a page out of their book. The tour is happening in months. They've already started promoting.
Yeah.
They've already started doing interviews for it.
Infrastructure.
They start from The Devil Wears Prada.
Since last
20
year.
2 years.
Oh,
I was
is
reading
it?
the whole
Really?
article. Yeah, 2 years, when they had not even shot a thing. They had already started pushing,
about it,
talking
pushing it.
about it, so that
Yeah.
different people can
It's a-
Like
plug
plugging
it's a
into
proper-
it.
Yeah, for
If you're trying
merch,
to
for
get
this, for that, for
support,
this.
like you're able to get people to even like put money down to do stuff. They're able to see that this is what we're potentially going to be getting from this.
Even Michael Jackson as well. I was like, last year I was like, I need to see this.
Yeah.
Okay, so let us do truth or trash. So I'm gonna read out some statements, and all you have to say is truth or trash.
I
Stream.
can explain.
No. Well,
If we feel it's necessary.
Okay.
Streaming numbers can be manipulated.
True.
Okay, Gbemi.
Yeah, labels care more about image than talent.
Trash.
Some artists are bigger on Instagram than in real life.
True.
Afrobeats is entering its lazy era.
Trash.
Okay.
I think that can't be true, because there's more than ever before. There's just a whole lot going on. I feel like it just depends on where one is looking at it from, like, and it's like a multi-dimensional thing where you need to just get like a full picture, like look at it like holistically to understand that that's not true.
You should
Okay.
You should run for politics.
As in,
Run
you've
for
held
office. Well
yourself
done.
down very well.
Okay.
Controversy is now a music marketing strategy. Be honest. Be honest.
No. Like
be
it has always
honest.
been like.
Okay.
So when you say now, it's like I'm like it's always been there.
Music executives know who will fail before the public does.
true to an extent, but also trash, because one thing that I know, like that's one hill I'm willing to die on, that an executive did one thing for person A, or like it worked for person B, does not mean that they have the formula to tell you like this is what is always going to
You
work.
cannot really
So,
predict.
yeah, you really can't, and it's not even up to like a person, especially in like a system like ours. You know, you see people put millions into an artist, it doesn't pop, and you see an artist that becomes a national obsession without a lot of budget.
Yeah. Like, to be honest, even on radio, there's some people that's not in a bad way, but I'm like, I don't know if you're going to make it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to make it.
Yeah.
And they went on to do,
They do amazing things.
likewise, there are people that I've been like, oh my gosh, this
is it.
person,
Like,
this is it. And I'm playing music and I'm just like, why are you guys not
You
feeling
guys
this?
are not, yeah,
What's
like
going
you're
on?
not listening.
Okay, fans love drama more than music.
I think so. I think fans like their drama. And the thing is that we just want more. It's like music, yes, there's a lot of music going on. Like, but what exactly else is there? Like, okay, what happened at Obi's house? What happened here? Like, what exactly is going on? What did this artist say about this particular person? It is always going to get blogs to say this, like this particular person posts it. So it's just in your face, like, significantly more than the music that you have to go look for. So.
Okay, viral songs are replacing timeless records.
Trash. So I think that like it's very easy for anybody to look at it and say, yeah, like I know this song. But the thing is that what has happened is that the life cycle of music has shortened, but it's also become non-linear. It's not a case of, oh, like this song, you can see a song, Love Wantinty, for instance, like released like at this particular period of time. And one day, like, the artist goes to bed and they wake up like from, 200,000 Spotify listeners, and in a couple months they have 30 million monthly listeners because this particular
because
thing is
of a what's the name of that American R&B singer? He had like a song that was released, what's it called? The Lotus. Why am I forgetting people? Give me the short guy, the one that was with that model girl. So Miguel dropped he dropped a song like a good, I want to say 10, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
So I remember when I was reading up about it, it did well. Then there was this whole revival.
rediscovery.
I think it kind of started on TikTok or whatever.
Yeah.
And the song did better like later than it
it
did
ever
when it
did, like,
first,
when it came out.
when it first was
Yeah.
released.
Yeah.
So I mean that's fantastic. I would love to see more of that with Nigerian music, because I feel that where we are now, music is fantastic, but I feel like there was some amazing songs. Like the last music episode that we did, I think it was last season, we're basically talking about the best era of music.
Yeah.
And if it's okay, we can just wrap up with that question.
Yeah.
Where do you forget you're part of a record label, in terms of your personal, like how you feel, what do you think the best era of Nigerian music was?
2010s.
That's
That
it.
was when we also
That's it.
mentioned. One thing I was going to say is I saw a tweet the other day where it said Coachella that just happened now. They were able to tell us how much it was made in terms of ticket sales and that. We don't know how much anything makes. We need more info out there.
Yeah.
Because if you are going to
Structure.
be fair. If you're going to be like a what's the word, like a brand or whatever it is that wants to buy into the movement. I don't have any information.
That's why
I don't have any.
Remember that time that the record labels came to Nigeria and they were setting up offices. I think that's one of the biggest issues they had. There were no numbers because there's Alaba, but there was no actual data. Like, okay, how many records as you are now? How many records have you sold in your lifetime?
Yeah,
you don't know.
So that's why like I'm proud of like some of the work that like new creatives are doing. Like you check out like Turntable Charts, we talk sounds. There are people that they're going behind the scenes to go look at what the numbers are saying, put it out there. So the numbers are not just streaming numbers that we can see on the front end. What does this particular thing mean? We create like our own charting system where this particular number outweighs this particular thing. So all of that, right? These data are we're making it available in bits. And we're going to get there, but it's just
what is it now? What's happened?
We're moving.
There was a popular countdown that used to go on radio once a week, and you could manipulate that countdown if you pay the right amount. And that's how we'll end this session. Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Thank you
stopping
so
by.
much.
This
Thank
wasn't
you
so
so
scary,
much.
was it?
It wasn't. It
Okay.
wasn't.
Good,
Like,
nice
I,
to you now.
yeah,
Yeah, I feel
no.
like
Like,
it was nice.
I'm a fan of you guys as well. Like, I was
Thank
just
you.
very, very
Okay.
happy to be here to
Thank
have
you.
conversations with you.
Thank you and best of luck
Thank
with
you.
everything. If I have like some spare time, if you want me to manage any of your artists.
Okay.
No.
Don't worry.
No.
Don't
Have you
worry.
seen
They will
Wale? I
call
haven't
and
seen
say,
him.
No,
Please don't.
like no, I don't want any more. But don't worry, like I'd probably have you, come speak to like some of them and we just know like, okay, cool. Like this is what we
See,
need to
I'm a
do.
mom now, so
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel because for me,
Yeah.
with my kids, they're kids. But as an adult, why are you acting stupid?
You're like impatient with like
I'm very
adults.
I'm like, what? You
Yeah.
did what? Why did you tweet that?
Yeah.
Bah! So yeah, maybe. But I mean, if the pay is good, I'll consider
no,
it.
don't worry. We'll speak about that. And
Thank you so
Yeah,
much for stopping
thank
by.
you.
Best of luck with everything.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
So we've got fan mail, and this person says it's very long, by the way. So I'm gonna try to cut it. The person says, "Hi guys, my name is Shay, not my real name, LOL. Currently watching the latest episode of you guys, and I thought to share my own dilemma. So back in 2022, I believe, a boy came to my mom's office to intern. He was just about finishing from uni, and he confided in my mom that he was looking to get into a serious relationship. So my mom gladly introduced him to my older sister, Timmy. I knew Timmy wouldn't like him because I know her. My mom showed us his picture. He was handsome, 5'7", Nigerian young guy, no problem. A week later, after they met, let's call him Solomon, she said she wasn't interested. My mom was heartbroken. We moved on. Fast forward, including me, everybody genuinely forgot about him. Fast forward to January 2026, I met a young man in the gym. After weeks of him eyeing me, I agreed and gave him my number in February. He's very consistent. He literally told me what he wants. He's not here to play. He believes this will lead to marriage and all that fun stuff. But we're obviously going to take things at my pace. We genuinely hit it off. There is a connection there. He does all the right things. He's very quiet and calm.
But
Even from his face, you can tell. So fast forward to March, we've been fast forwarding since. He came to see me in my city. He moved. Drove down, picked me up, we went to the movies, a restaurant. It was genuinely amazing. Guys, 3 days after was my mom's birthday. I posted her and he was like, your mom's face looks familiar. I was like, in this big Lagos, as how? I laughed and I brushed it off. He was like, no, I know her from somewhere. Boom. He remembered
he hooked up with the mom?
No.
Okay.
He was the guy from my mom's office when he was an intern.
Okay, that's not so
I
much.
remembered him as the guy that was meant for my older sister. And she wrote here, I'm trying to cut the long story short, guys, but I'll keep
You're
going.
not doing a good
You're
job.
not doing a good job of cutting the long story short. Anyway, there's like 8 pages, bro. And he said, oh, don't worry. On one side, I'm like, why doesn't he want to just own up to it and let it out? On another point, I'm like, maybe he doesn't want to lose me. Maybe. Who knows? I don't. For further details, I'm 23, second year in uni, financially stable, blah, 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 blah. And he's 28, more financially stable, emotionally intelligent, has his own car and apartment. The long story, the way she wrote was also, the long story is that because they had introduced her, the guy in 2022 to her sister, and they spoke for a week, and she said she did not want. Nothing happened between them. So now she's met this guy again in 2026, and he recognizes her as, oh, you're the one who I interned in your mom's office, and she feels like she's getting her sister's hand-me-down or her sister's reject. What are your thoughts? Look, listen, if you don't believe, there's still pages upon pages upon pages of what this girl said. So that's the summary, basically. He's not your sister's.
Does she like him? From what she said,
likes him.
she likes him.
They
so
like each other.
That should not be an issue. You know what it sounds like? It sounds as though the bigger issue is her relationship with her sister.
Okay, but her sister did not like him.
No. As in not her sister's relationship with him. Her relationship with her sister. If they've got like some competitiveness or whatever,
Some sort
and
of
now
rivalry.
she feels like, oh, the guy that you didn't want is now the guy. Honestly, if this guy is good to you, if he makes you feel good about yourself, if he's kind, if he's good to you, that is a minor. There, you need to figure out what's going on with you and your sister. You cannot. I don't know if she's asking if she should dead the relationship. You should not dead it because I thought you were gonna say like they dated.
They did not.
They literally they spoke for like a week.
For a week,
They didn't even kiss. They didn't even do anything. So I don't know. It sounds like there's a deeper issue there.
You know, get problem number one.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem. This could be. I mean, you don't even know. This could be your husband.
You're 23 years old.
Yeah, so it's
Enjoy
just,
yourself. I'm not
it's not a
and
big
when
deal.
people say, when Toolz says, "Oh, go have a whole phase," it's not go have a whole phase or go and sleep with everybody. It's just first of all, even
Be
learn to know
free.
yourself. What are your hobbies? What do you have? 23 years old, you've not finished school. You're already thinking of marriage. Kilo day, kilo lay. What's chasing you now?
You don't have a problem, girl. You do not have a problem. This is like they did they even see in person?
She said, "Yeah, well, that is in another city."
No, as in, did this guy and her sister, did
Oh,
they
I don't
even
know.
see in person?
I said there's
It's
no
not,
problem. You don't
it's
get
not an issue.
problem. You
It's
don't
like,
get
it's not an
issue.
issue. It's not an
It's
issue.
not a big
And
deal.
this is someone that, at least your mom kind of likes him already.
Yeah.
So
But you guys think, have you given rubbish advice here?
there's not a problem. There's not a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you know how
You're overthinking
sometimes
things.
but sometimes I feel like you see things and you see a problem, but that thing that you're focusing on is not the problem. There is another problem.
So
Do you get what
there
I'm saying?
might be some sort of sibling rivalry with her sister. That sort of thing.
I think it might be. I
Maybe
think it
that.
might be that. That could be it, but there's not. Yeah, they didn't date. They didn't even. They weren't even really talking because
They
I was
only
like a
spoke
week.
for a
so
week.
nah, it's fine.
And
If the guy is good, but you know what? As you like, if you want to, break this thing up because my sister's rejects. If he seems like a good guy and you want to end it, while I say no.
I also find it difficult to believe that he didn't know that. Well, it's possible. Maybe he didn't meet her in 2022 or something. Because she mentioned that she saw his picture or whatever. And then she later met him in 2026.
I remember pictures of people I saw yesterday.
See.
So
well,
yeah.
well.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
All right, so good luck with everything. Next time when you're writing us, try and shorten it, eh?
You don't understand. The thing was like 6 pages. Then she now used another 2 pages to really say her real name and what's happening and their real professions. I was like,
You're only allowed to write like 6 or 7 pages when there's like some major
When
like
there's
drama.
drama.
When there's this was like half a page. But thank you so much. Keep your emails coming in. Don't feel like we're not going to criticize you, but just keep it nice and
compact.
showoffAir@gmail.com. And of course, you can send us a DM if you want us to keep you anonymous. We can do that as well. And once again, slight disclaimer: if the advice we give you ends up in you going to jail, we are not liable.
I would never give you advice that will end you.
This one that they said,
up in jail.
Toolz is telling everybody to have a whole face. Don't, take it literally.
You should have t-shirts. Have you had your whole face yet?
What I mean is just have a period in your life where you're not, tied to somebody and you just understand yourself. That's what I mean. It is now time for Moniezone, brought to you by our good friends at MoneyPoint. And remember, we care about you.
Yes,
we want to
we
make
do.
sure your money is right. And that is why we have teamed up with MoneyPoint. They have great facilities, great advice to make sure you continue to excel as a business owner. And I've got a very important question for you.
What's that?
If your business isn't online, are you invisible?
Yes. In today's world, yes, you are. You have to be visible somewhere. Some people prefer Facebook because it's, that's where they feel like their clientele, are or is. And then some people prefer, TikTok. Some people prefer Instagram, whatever it is that you
But
are
you need to have some sort
of
of digital presence.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is the same thing that our good friends at MoneyPoint think. Digital presence is no longer optional. It is essential. Customers expect convenience, and businesses that aren't accessible online risk losing opportunities. Let me give you an example. So this was during COVID. So during COVID, one of the biggest fashion brands made a big, should I say big mistake? They didn't move quickly enough. Primark. So Primark, where did they even start from? Anyways, don't worry about that. So Primark is like a very sort of cheap, affordable, they've got massive stores. They do like very, very fast fashion and everything. So obviously during COVID, we couldn't go out. And a lot of other fashion lines, a lot of big fashion lines, they had already sorted out their online retail part. Primark, you couldn't buy online. So for that whole period while we were on lockdown, you could not buy
Anything
Primark.
from them.
You
That's
couldn't.
sad.
So, and this is this. People go to Primark for like everything. Like, there's no time I've gone to a Primark store and it's not been packed. So essentially, all of those people that go to Primark
They
that
lost all
used
that
to,
business.
the baby would go to Primark because, oh, I've got to dinner on Thursday, or I've got to buy a t-shirt for my kid on, they lost a lot because they kind of felt like, we have stores, we've got the physical stores, we've got massive physical stores, so we don't need to bother about online. Obviously, they changed it, but because Primark is such a massive brand, it's not something that they could do quickly.
Yeah.
So they literally had to wait till, lockdown had kind of calmed down, and by that time, people found alternatives. So if you were shopping at, Primark regularly, and during that lockdown period, you're not able to shop, what are you going to do? You're going to look for an alternative. So I feel like they did lose a lot of customers.
Yeah, and it's not just social media, like you mentioned, it's having a website.
Having a
Yeah.
website.
So and for you to have a website, obviously you're not there physically, so you have to have some sort of seamless payment system that supports digital transactions, and this is where
Absolutely.
MoneyPoint comes in.
Mhm.
So and it's not just, again, so a lot of people think, oh, are you online means, oh, I have a page or whatever. So
No,
what
no,
if
no, no, no.
you or your staff are asleep? Where can your staff shop? I mean, where can your customers shop rather? They can go on your website
They
at 3
can-
a.m. in the morning.
Absolutely. And another thing is, one of the things that I'm very happy that we did, we have website. I'm talking about my line, my fashion line, Lale. And sometimes I wake up and I see purchases from America.
Yeah.
I see, like, it's crazy how I get just random purchases from different parts of the world.
Mhm.
We're sending stuff to Australia.
Mhm.
I'm sending stuff to Libya, all these different things. And this is fantastic because it means people from all over the world can shop with you, and these people are not going to be the ones that will hit you up on like WhatsApp and DM and say, oh, what can I do a transfer? It doesn't work like that.
Exactly.
So having a website is extremely important for businesses today.
Yeah.
And MoneyPoint enables businesses to accept payments easily, whether online or offline, while keeping all transactions organized in one place. This ensures visibility, accessibility, and growth in an increasingly digital economy.
So, in simple terms, you need to make sure that people are able to buy your goods or your services or whatever it is easily, and not just when you are physically there or when you have a member of staff physically there to either answer DMs and stuff like that. And this is where MoneyPoint makes your business better.
And don't forget, you also could be losing out on international customers if literally it's just say, okay, fine, do a transfer, do it, So
Leave
get on
even
that.
business people. I can't remember the last time that me or anybody in my household physically went to they're not called NEPA anymore, NEPA office or cable network office to pay. Sit
Everything's
down,
done online.
open up the MoneyPoint
app.
app and do it. What I love the most is that I don't even look at it. You get cash back when you buy credit, when you pay your bills, your DSTV bills, your you buy your or you pay for your Wi-Fi or any of those things. And I don't look at it. So sometimes when I'm like, let me look and see, it literally just accumulates money for you, and so you can move it to your account and also spend. So make sure you get that MoneyPoint app today.
Yep. All right. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you had a fantastic time with us. Have an amazing weekend, and we'll catch you next Friday.